when you're a leader and people you are leading is not happy, I don't know the happiness you'll be having as a leader. Leadership is all about when we understand that a leader is meant to serve. That is when you lead well.
Some don't well, but alas, some are not performing well. But I don't blame them so much because they have advisors. Even though we have a good leader, if the supporter or the advisor are bad.
Some people will say since 1999, Nigeria has remained the same. But I beg to differ. We are moving in the right direction. And hopefully, what the citizens want will definitely happen. We will go out there in other countries, we'll see where there is law, rules and regulation. That is the only thing they have that is different from Nigeria. Rules and regulations. Speed limit, people will obey. Don't cross here, don't cross. You won't even ease yourself on the street. You will be apprehended. But we have so much law here, but no enforcement. So yeah.
I have never lost hope in my country, Nigeria, because I believe one day the little David that was anointed will emerge and things will be put in place in this country where we will have a better government that would march the people to the promised land.
The 2023 general elections in Nigeria unveiled some surprises to both the political elites and the general population of the country. Experts say it told a story of a people who have expectations and are ready to make sure those expectations are met by the leaders they elect into positions of authority.
In my own local government, I can say no, but in my state, during Muazu, nobody from Bauchi state, either opposition party, nobody can say Muazu did not work. But after Muazu,
a chart with some Nigerians in different parts of the country reveals that the impact of their elected leaders and representatives in various government offices over the years has not been felt.
It's not easy to be a leader. It's not easy to lead people. So they should just try their best to do whatever they can to push the country from rather where it was to the next stage. You can't do everything, but the little you do will be much appreciated.
Fine, we have some of them, just few of them, who has given us the dividend of democracy, of why we voted them in. But to wrap it up in percentage, Nigerian politicians and leaders are performing above average.
But the only advice I can give to my leader or my governor, as the case is for him to step up his game, to bring betterment to the state. Because the people of the state, they are not happy. We are not happy.
The 2023 general elections provided the opportunity to express their opinions and advocate the change they wanted through the power of their vote. Where there was no major significant change in leadership, the majority of the incumbent leaders worked hard to retain their seats with the knowledge that it will no longer be business as usual.
Yes, we can say, especially the young people, they have realized that they have power, and that power can be really used to their advantage, and they've begun to now apply it, use it. And what can only happen is that you will see more of it, being really applied, because that's the trend all over the world. It's not peculiar to Nigeria. It's just a matter of the how do you say it? The gin has been let after the bottle already. So you can't put it back again. So it's only to grow and cover the entire space, which is what is happening in other places that we want to.
Nigerians desire that their nation, that our country catches up with the rest of the world. And if there's a group of the population, a particular category of our population that desire that much more than any other, it is the younger generation, the internet generation. They know what is happening everywhere, and they desire not to be left behind. So you could see that from the manner, the enthusiasm they showed, and then they believe in democracy, that if there's any form of government that is capable of delivering their desires, it is democracy. So Nigerians have come to believe so much in democracy. They have come to believe so much in the peaceful change of power where the man with the vote has the power to choose who leads him. So that's what we witnessed, and we are very happy for it, because if this trend continues, we believe that if this trend is encouraged, one day Nigeria will get there.
Since Nigeria became a republic in 1963, more than a dozen individuals have served as head of state under different titles. Many more have served as state governors, members of houses of representatives, members of local government, councillors, and other leadership positions. Yet, after more than 6 decades of independence, Nigeria still struggles with development at the grassroots.
Anybody going into position right now who does not already have a vision of where they want their community, their local government, their state, their senatorial zone, the country, they don't already have a vision, it's a problem. Because when you don't have a vision, anywhere you go, it's your vision. It's like when you don't have a target, for instance, and you throw something, wherever the thing lands, it's your target. It may end up inside water. It may end up inside a hole. Is there where you want to be? Absolutely no. So vision has to be clear where you want to go, and that vision should be the one that directs the programs, directs the kind of people that are given positions to help actualize the vision. So I would say they need to start from the position of vision.
Leadership generally refers to the ability to guide, influence, and inspire others towards a common goal or vision. Leadership can also be seen as the ability to influence others to achieve objectives, protect and ensure the highest quality of life while providing the needed direction for good governance. Most importantly, leaders occupy positions of power and authority that should naturally come with the responsibility to serve the people.
You must have leaders that are credible, visionary, plans, organization. Somebody that people will choose to follow because this one's credible. Somebody that can tell you, this is my vision, and you can see clearly where he's going. Somebody can give you organization in what you want to do. The kind of leaders we are expecting are difficult to come by. But even in spite of that, if we're able to stumble into that kind of leader that has fear of God, that will be upright, that will deliver on his promises in spite of all odds that may be placed above, in this. That's what you have in places like China. They're able to stumble into just somebody who was very, very straightforward and was committed, to having that country transformed. You talk about Singapore, Malaysia, all this. When you check the leaders they are able to get, they are leaders that they have empathy. They internalize the goal of their country. They have a vision. They are credible. They are organized, so that people are able to follow them.
When we look at those who we can consider as the founding fathers of modern Nigeria, those who fought for the independence of Nigeria, if you look at those crop of leaders, I would say we had good leaders then. And that's why if you look at life then and you compare it to life now, it seems like we have not made progress. I remember when I started working in NTA some years ago, I think precisely 85. My take-home salary was $325 a month. From that amount of money, I was able to save to send myself to do a master's program. But now earning more than 500 times that amount is still not enough, because over the years, we've had people who have been in position of authority, and therefore, because they were not performing the actual role of leadership, we find a situation where it looks like the country has been marking time, has been in one spot. So some good leaders at that time, given the resources that we had and given the political environment in the country, I think they did very well.
For appointed leaders such as ministers, commissioners, and heads of government agencies, leadership means being appointed to a position of authority and responsibility to oversee specific areas of government operations. They are expected to provide directions and make decisions that will benefit the citizens they serve.
You must be able to look for the right people where they are, and not just that, to also fix them in the right places. Because sometimes we have a right person but occupying the wrong position. And that is why we frown at nepotism. Leadership does not accommodate nepotism. It does not accommodate what we call a clannishness, because it is not about satisfying the needs of a particular set of persons. It is about meeting the needs of the generality of the people. So you must be a person, a leader, who understands what capacity is, who understands what the nation or what the state or what the community or what the given group you lead, what they need. And you're able to identify capacities that will enable you to achieve what the people are in need of.
Elected leaders, on the other hand, are entrusted with the responsibility of representing the people and making decisions on their behalf. Their main goal is to lead by example, be accountable to the people, and make policies that will enhance the welfare of citizens under their jurisdiction.
People go ahead and promise things that are not practicable. They promise them because they are politically correct. They're the kind of things that sound well in the ears of people. A good leader will not promise something he knows he cannot deliver. So people need to stop making those kind of promises. Come up with a vision and say, here is my vision. This vision, in 4 years, I will do this. In the first year, I will do this. In the second year, I will do this. In the third year. So the vision is the roadmap for success for any leader. So we need to get to that point where every leader is asked to distill his vision for the position or for the community that wants to lead and discuss it with the people before you can then come up with practical steps for achieving the vision. What we're saying is people mentioning things they are going to do, but without a vision. And that's why they get into a position, they suddenly find, oh, this thing that I promised is difficult. And they just move on to something else.
Experts say to ensure good leadership in Nigeria, there is need to promote meritocracy in the selection of leaders. Leaders should be selected based on their competence, character, and ability to deliver on their responsibilities.
This is a situation where people have handed over to you their resources and also their allegiance. So what they expect in return from you is for you to ensure that you provide for their welfare, you provide for their security, and that's what even our constitution says. That's the contract, social contract you have between the people and the government. So it's for them to do that, provide security and provide welfare. And that's why I started by saying that if you can make available, enable environment for these 5 basic needs, as a Maslow theory of needs, perhaps people will now begin to believe in the system, in you, because they will now see you as a credible individual. They will see you as somebody who has vision. You want to take them to where they should be, and then they will also see that you are organized and that you feel for them. It's not that you are just there to feather your own nest.
Non-appointed leaders such as traditional rulers, religious leaders, and community leaders are looked up to for their influence and revered positions towards the promotion of peace, unity, and development in their respective communities.
One of the things we're missing is the place of the traditional institution in the current leadership equation of Nigeria. We must understand that these people are always there and will always be there. But the politicians, they just come and they go. If, for instance, a politician vies for a position and he or she loses for maybe 2 or 3 cycles, he has nothing to offer. But the traditional ruler continues to be there. They are the custodians of the people's culture. They know what the people want and they understand where the people bleeds. In other words, I'm thinking that the government should pay more attention to the traditional institution, because if they go once in a while to consult and to engage and to really know what the people are in need of, the traditional rulers are in a better position to tell them how to move the ship of state forward. not minding the contestations and the little rivalries here and there. It is the duty of a political leader, after having heard from all these traditional rulers, to know what the nation as a conglomerate, as a body now wants.
Experts say the impact of Nigerian leaders on the people they lead and the country as a whole has not been positive in many cases.
Our history as a people is that we have emirs, we have obas, we have in the east the Igwes and the rest of them. Now these people are traditional rulers. Now note, we don't call them traditional leaders. They are traditional rulers. Rulers are people, when they say something, you can't challenge it. You can't discuss what they say. Their word is law. So people get into position of leadership thinking that leadership and rulership are the same. They want to go there and say, look, I'm going to do this. Don't ask questions. Just do what I ask you. Leadership is not like that. A leader listens to his people. Because if you don't listen to them and you don't get their buy-in, how do you lead them? You are not going to lead them. You are going to force them. And what happens? When you force them, you don't achieve any results, because some will follow you with a smile and you think they are following you because you have a vision. They are following you, like the Nigerian phrase says, for stomach infrastructure.
In fact, leadership in most cases are not even there. They are not organized. They are not credible. They don't have plans that they can tell you that these are our plans. This is what we are taking you to. So how do you believe in that kind of leadership? How do you vote for that kind of leadership again? If not because we have a state capture, the people have stolen so much money, and the day of elections, like they did before, they now come and use that money to buy up people's country. And because they have already popularized the people, so they know that they are just waiting for handouts, no matter how little it may be. The man has not had dinner, didn't have dinner, maybe breakfast didn't have, and then you now bring him to come and vote, and he didn't know where the next email is coming from. So whatever you dangle, you grab it. So this is what has been happening, and this is why I'm glad that the youth, in particular, have now risen up, and they are going to continue. Like I said, they won't go back again. There's no doubt about that.
Experts advocate the need to intensify the fight against corruption as a major impediment to good leadership in Nigeria by strengthening anti-corruption agencies, ensuring transparency in government transactions, and punishing corrupt individuals. The dividends of democracy have been limited for many Nigerians in different states of the Federation. Despite the country's abundant natural and human resources, poverty, unemployment, insecurity, and poor infrastructure are still major challenges that affect the lives of ordinary citizens. While some states have made progress in areas such as healthcare, infrastructure development, and education, many others still lag behind.
Everyone desires that leadership in Nigeria become much more positive and result-oriented. It is everyone's desire. And if it is our desire, we should begin to listen to the younger ones. We should listen to them. We should go down to, now we need a leader or a group of leaders who are able to come down to the level of the company. This is not a feudalist system. It is a democracy. And in a democracy, the people, the voter, the office of the citizen of the Federal Republic is the highest office. So how would you be shaving my hair in my absence?
While the social media has become a tool used by young people in airing their grievances and commenting on the ills of the society, experts say it can also provide a platform for citizens to hold their leaders accountable without insults or malice. Citizens can also hold their leaders accountable through civic engagement such as participation in elections as well as peaceful demonstrations.
We entered into an era where politicians will come and deny what they promised. They will not tell you they never promised anything. They never said anything. And I want to tell you that Nigerians have been in a quandary since then. Not knowing actually whether it is truly within their rights to hold their leaders to actually account for the promises they made. Nigerians are confused. And that shouldn't be in the first place. It shouldn't be so. Because a leader is elected on the basis of the promise he presents.
Nigerians do not hold our leaders accountable. We need to start doing that, holding our leaders. If they say they are going to build 20 houses, they get there, they build 5, the next election we should kick them out. If before we kick them out, we should ask them to account. You said you were going to build 20, why are you building 5? What's the problem? Get them to account for the resources in their hand and account for the position.
Activism can be an avenue towards advocating for change and mobilizing the people towards a common goal.
There is no leader that doesn't have a home or an office. Can protest and say, look, you promised us this. In 2 days' time, your tenure is going to finish. We have not seen anything. What are you doing? Which means that, and the biggest way to hold them accountable is to make sure that the next time they show up asking for people to vote for them, remind them. The last time we gave you the opportunity, you didn't do anything. So we are not going to vote for you. Not only are we going to stop there, we will campaign against you to make sure that nobody votes for you. Now, if they know that people are going to hold them accountable, our leaders will begin to think differently.
The Fourth Republic is the longest stretch of civilian rule ever witnessed in the country. The country has held several presidential, National Assembly, and all the local elections, and the country's democracy is evolving. How far? So far.
No matter what they were before they vied, if they were satisfied, why did they come to vie? They went all around the country, all around the state, all around the local government, canvassing for votes. And when you now get the votes, you begin to look at the people as trash. You will not prioritize the needs of the people. And where that happens, you have started failing already as a leader. So leaders must learn to prioritize the people, to honor the people. And it takes humility. You must humble yourself. If, for instance, a leader wants to go for a second term and then he thinks it's a do or die affair, people die. Now listen, one president of Nigeria, ex-president, once said that his ambition is not what the blood of one Nigerian. You know, such are things that we should emblazon. We should put them in stadiums. We should put them on NTA every day. Let politicians come to become familiar with that statement, that no ambition of any politician is what the blood of him. Maybe they don't understand what it means. What it simply means is that no Nigerian should die because you want to become elected. You want to become president. You want to become governor. You want to become whatever, senator, House of Rep member, honorable member, or whatever. No single Nigerian's blood should be shed because of that.
Experts say Nigerian leaders need to have a better understanding of what true leadership means and the responsibilities that come with it. Leaders have been enjoined to prioritize the needs of the people they serve over personal gain and work towards building strong institutions that will promote good governance and sustainable development.
Leadership is not necessarily at the apex of everything. You can be a leader, you can be at the bottom of the hierarchy. But if you've been given any responsibility, at that level, you are the leader. You are the one that should have a vision of how you plan to use that authority, that position that's been placed in your hand to improve the people at that level. So you don't have to be president. You don't even have to be governor. Even if you are just a councillor, you know what, let's even take it down. Even if you are just a community leader, just one of those small titles in a community, you are a leader. You are expected to have a vision of how you plan to improve the lot of the people in that community. And you need to share that vision with the people. And then look for people who have the right talent to help you turn this vision into a reality. Because vision by itself, it's not enough. It's just the starting place, because you need it to know where you are going to. So that down the road, 2, 3 years, 4 years down the road, you can look back and assess yourself. Assess yourself. When we started this journey, this is where we started because of this is the vision. The vision tells you where you want to go. Now you're able to look at yourself and say, did we go to where we planned to go from the beginning?
These, they opine, will ultimately lead to a Nigeria where citizens can enjoy the dividends of democracy and live in peace and prosperity.